freaking dream, man. Not really. It is. See my wife's desk behind me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a perfect example of Murphy Manor and my current life status. A flippin' hectic mess, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. This,
Why?
what's up?
Why do you say that?
Just
You
we
don't have
got.
you don't got another room for her office for her work, or
So here's the deal. We're. I keep going back and forth, Kevin Tenney. So part of me. So I have this back room, right?
okay.
And it's about I don't know, let's say I think it's probably like 15 by 10, right? And there's two things it can be. Can you be my poker room with my nice poker table and I can have tournaments in there and all that great stuff, which is really what I want to do.
Hmm.
My fear is with freaking the world of COVID,
Yeah.
how soon am I actually going to be able to utilize that? Because in Utah, we hosted poker all the time. So like
They're like, I raise you 20 and about a 30% chance of corona.
exactly. So we used it all the time in Utah. Like we hosted a ton of poker games. Like I had a
Yeah.
blackjack table. I had a sweet ass setup. I don't have that much space in there, so it would just be my poker table and my big screen for like tournaments and watching sports and stuff.
Hmm.
But the other option, which is the one, is I want that maybe to be my studio, which I'll go in, put a couple of nice chairs. So if I get somebody to come in, I'll use the big screen. So like when I have you on or whoever, I'll have the big screen to have you guys on that. Uh,
Okay.
and it's also like going to have all my Browns memorabilia in it. So I'm torn and I need to make a decision. But also, we'll have my mom and my brothers and sisters coming down here so we can host Turkey Day.
What? In the state of Ohio?
Oh yeah,
How dare you?
I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. We
Oh, I
are.
can't believe that.
Oh yeah, the wine can go to hell. I think isn't it 10 though the max? So we're going to be under the 10.
Well, here's the big thing that people love to over because this is where I always get my aunt because I love picking on her because she gets all crazy about this stuff.
Yeah.
And like we'll have, well, I think it'd be 11 now with Sam and Chris's baby. But here's the thing: it's 10, but it's three households. So if you live in all separate houses, that's each house. Well, for us, we all live in separate houses. So there's 10 of us, and there's like whatever, how many ever houses. My mom, my grandma, my aunt,
Yeah.
both of my cousins, and me and my brothers. So that's 8 different houses. So I'm like, yeah, you're breaking the rules, buddy. And she gets all mad. She's like, my mask is in the car. And it's like, well, you can wear a mask if you want to and look like a dork. I don't care. But I'm like, if you're going to sit there and use that whole thing, it's like, you got to do it the right way.
Well, we already got a mini COVID outbreak in Utah in our family.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so we're trying to avoid COVID like the plague here. But the thing is, like, I want to have my mom down. I haven't had anyone down here yet.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have people. I want to have some people down. And so we decided that probably starting next year, my brother Butler and I are going to start rotating holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Thanksgiving. So we'll go to Jersey one year. He'll come out here. But
Oh,
we're
okay.
just, the house isn't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
But just to have my family down, it's still got ways to go, but we have a lot of work to do. And I just found out essentially I'm working every day until Turkey Day. So we have a lot to get done, and it is freaking hectic. I got painting. Like as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go be painting. We got cleaning to do. I got furniture still coming. We ordered a futon, so we have places for people to sleep.
Yeah.
It's madness at Murphy Manor. Plus, it's Murphy Manor, so who knows what will pop up as we move along. I can't figure out what I want to do with that back room though, because I really want. Part of me is like, I'm probably going to podcast and utilize it for that,
Yeah.
more than poker. But if I can get a poker setup, like if I can get a regular game, I'll use that room like 2 or 3 times a month for poker.
Yeah.
If not more, if I have it my way.
Now, it's probably not the easiest to, like, if you say you set up, because right now, I mean, like you said, how are you going to do, or how well is poker going to go with the whole Corona thing going on, or how much do you want to take a chance of that right now? But
See,
like,
I'm
if
not
you
afraid of the
said,
cone. I'm not afraid of the Rona. I don't fear the Rona.
I'm not saying you do, but people do. So, like if you set up your room in there, your podcast stuff, and then like whenever this all whatever happens and people actually start acting normal again, would it be that much harder to move like your stuff back into your podcast stuff back into that room, or is that something you just don't really want to go that path? Or
So it's not that it'd be hard. I mean, I like this idea of
pain in the ass?
yeah, it's a little pain. Here's the deal, like I just want to keep it in one spot. I think that's the biggest thing. And if it's gonna be in here, like if it's in here, it's fine. But like out there, I'll have all my memorabilia and it'll just kind of feel fun. And then we can kind of utilize this as a workspace for like I'll have my computer in here for when I'm working on my coding classes or Kim's work. Kim actually works in here every day. So I don't know. I got to make that decision quick. I keep going back and forth. I think Kim really likes the idea of a poker room just because we had so much fun hosting when we were hosting back in Tooele. The whole world's changed, man. So I don't even know what that looks like right now.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal, like if I could get a game today, I'd have full house, people playing cards, and I wouldn't think twice about it because I don't fear the Rona. Now, if I got the Rona and almost died, that might change my mind a little bit. Who knows? But the way like these cases are going up, it wouldn't be surprised if it hit me at some point because I mean we already had a scare a few weeks. Well, it was probably a couple months ago now. Before when Kim came out the last time to visit, she went back and thought she had the Rona, and so I had to set her work for a couple of weeks. So it's bound. Just the way the world's going, it's bound to probably get to me at some point. I just need to lose like 300 pounds.
That's the way I kind of look at it. That I have a feeling it's gonna make its way around here. So,
hey, can you text Kim by the way and tell her to let me buy a PlayStation 5?
I'm not getting involved in that one.
I need some support. And by the way, these strawberritas might be my new favorite thing to drink when I podcast. They are so delicious, and I have such a low tolerance to regular alcohol that like I'm gonna be super chipper when I'm painting after this podcast.
That's funny.
Yeah, I need some help with the PlayStation 5. So me and Trevor, who never bond, are totally on the same team here.
Well, of course, because you both play video games.
I don't play much. Like, there's only certain games I play. Like, I really want to play whatever it's called, PGA. I'll play that. I'll play 2K. I don't know if I'm gonna get Madden. I might wait for Madden because Madden got such a shitty rap this year that I've noted. It kind of gave me a little desire to purchase it. I know they're kind of rebranding it, and upgrading it for the new systems.
Yeah.
But people really hate it. It's like the worst scored game in the history of all video games.
Yeah, I know. That's the crazy thing.
And it's going to be $70. So I don't know that I have it in me to take that $70 risk.
Yeah, that would be because I'm debating about it. I want to get it, but I'm probably waiting a little bit before I do get it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like I'm trying to like get everything bought now. Like we finally got all the furniture for the house purchased. And so we're good there. Like I said, we ordered a futon. I ordered the final chair for the living room. There's a couple of I want a couple of chairs if I do go to podcasting for we'll call it the Cleveland Browns room because it's going to be Cleveland Browns orange. There's a couple of chairs I want to get, but I can get those down the road. That's not anything I'm in a hurry for, but I wanted to get before my mom got here. I wanted to get like all our main furniture purchased.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that locked up, and now it's just freaking hectic, dude. I'm just over it. I'm ready for the house to be done and just like, oh, look, we get to enjoy just living in it.
Yeah, I know that feeling too.
Instead of every day is like, oh, what's this project? I don't know. Got 37 more though. And they just never stop.
Well, ours right now is we had the guy do our bathroom, and when he finished up that night, he still had a couple things to do, like hang the hand towel rack or bar, and like what else? He had to do that, and then where he hung the light above the medicine cabinet, it the hole that was there wasn't it was bigger than what he needed, so he had to like do patchwork, and he had to hang like a toilet paper roll thing, and he's like, it was getting late. He's like, I'll just come back next week and do it. And it's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Well, it was like how trick or treat was the following weekend, I think, or no, something was the next week. It was the week before trick or treat, and something came up, and it's like, all right, because he's got 2 young kids, so it's like that's fine. Well, then it's like trick or treat. We know he's not coming over that weekend, and so Miranda was texting him the following week. Well, he never responded, and he still hasn't responded to her, and she's like, well, you should go and text him. And I'm like, I'm not texting him. It's like, if he's avoiding you, he's going to avoid me too. So I was like, screw it. I'll just do it. So it's like, I hung up the towel rack today, and then I sanded down all the whatever crap you put up, plaster stuff to fill the hole. So I sanded that down. So it's like the paint's still out in the garage. So I just got to bring the paint in and paint that. So it's like, I'm finishing my bathroom myself that I paid to have done.
Yeah, I would lose my mind. Like, this is where, like, right now, yeah, I would lose my mind. Like, right now, I have to call where we got our furniture from and my TV, because my TV's picture's already going out. And, like, there's just other issues. Like, we paid for delivery because that they were going to, if you had to, let me step back. We ordered a whole set, right? But they didn't have the coffee table and end tables in stock. So they're like, hey, if you want, you can come pick a different end table set and coffee table set, and we'll come deliver it. I'm like, oh, that's fine. So we go pick a set, and we're all excited because we ended up saving like $150 because the set we picked was cheaper than the set that came with the whole get up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, we have to charge you delivery fee. That way they'll put it together before they bring it out, and then just come back in and we'll return the delivery fee. I'm like, okay, I already don't like these guys because the delivery guys were assholes the first time. I'm 80% sure one of the guys loogied on my floor. Just like assholes. I know they were frustrated because they had to come around to the back door because the way my front door is, they couldn't get the couch in.
Yeah.
They had to bring it through the back door. So I think they were shitty for that. And then the one guy, because we have like a ceiling fan in our little Four Seasons room, guy banged his head on that. And so he was pissy, but the guys were just super rude to Kim, which pissed me off.
Yeah.
And then I'm sleeping. Kim gets up when they bring the tables, and it's still in the box. And she's like, wait, it's supposed to be, you guys are going to set this up here, right? And, or no, they said something like, because we were working on some other stuff, and like, oh, good, you got plenty of room to assemble this. And she's like, oh, you guys are supposed to assemble this. And they're like, oh, we don't assemble shit. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's how it sounded in my head. And so they just basically left, and Kim doesn't like confrontation. So she's like, well, I guess we're fucked. And I'm like losing my mind. So now I'm already pissed. I want to call him, but she's like, don't do it. She went and got our refund, which we were getting for delivery. And she's like, don't call him. It's over with. We'll just put them together. And we got them together. But then my TV's like when I power it up, it's like real blotchy, like real messed up when you start it up. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Thing's like 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Fresh out of the box. So now I'm like, I got to call them. And I'm like, I know I'm going to be an asshole.
Yeah. I've seen you make those calls before.
But I'm like, is it that much to ask? I'm not even asking for like anything. I'm just normal, like average customer service.
Yeah, but nowadays that's so hard to find and so hard to actually get. It's just,
dude.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be upset. I'd be upset, especially the TV.
If I drop like $2,500 at your store in COVID, where it's hard enough for businesses to stay open,
yeah,
like you should treat me okay. Is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that.
So I'm gonna make that call on my way to work tomorrow because I just found out I have to work. Like I said, basically through Turkey Day. By the way, how you like my new Browns hat? Pretty slick.
Not bad.
I love the Evil Elf. I wish I'd go back to him full time. As much as I love the dog, and I get it, I'm all for it. I love the elf so much. And I mean, look, the orange looks slick.
Orange is all right.
Browns 6-3 for the first time since 2004. And the only thing that sucks is they're still not. They wouldn't make the playoffs today if the season ended because 87 other teams are 6-3.
Yeah.
Like the AFC is just piled high with these which is good, right? It means the divisions, the conference is good. But so I need the team from Maryland to lose this week. I don't even know who they're playing or if they're playing. I need them to lose.
I think they're playing Tennessee.
Oh, so they should lose because I think Tennessee's a better team.
I picked Tennessee in my pick'ems.
Now, when you guys do your pick'ems, do you do them with the spread?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where it gets tough.
Oh yeah, you're telling me. Even though I've won it, I finally won it this year. I haven't won it in like the last 2 years, and I won it a couple weeks ago, and I had like 3 losses for the week. And they always put because there's bye weeks, so they'll put 3 college games on. So we have 17 games we got to pick. So I went 14-3.
That's pretty good against the spread.
Yeah,
That's I take that to Vegas and play some couple of bets.
no, like I said, no, I usually do pretty good. I'm usually around 10 wins, 10-7, but it's just like there's always that 1 or 2 people that are like 11-12. Usually, if you're at 11 or 12, your chances of winning are really high.
Who did you take last week in the Cleveland game?
I took Houston.
Kevin. Well, you would have won because the spread.
No, because
Cleveland didn't cover.
I don't know where they get their spreads from, and they do it on Tuesday when they do
when the line's kind of fresh.
Yeah, so it was.
So was the spread on Tuesday?
I think it was 2.5.
Oh, ouch! I was reading.
I won that game. I might have read it wrong and won that game. Is it 2.5 or 3.5? It was 3.5. I won.
Yeah, it was 3.5. You won.
I was pissed because I'm pretty sure I was mad that I lost, and I was like, I shouldn't have lost that game.
The whole gambling world was pissed at Chubb for doing the most team oriented move you could do. If that doesn't prove that guy is nothing but a team player, I'm scared this week though because I don't like Philly with Wentz. Is Wentz even playing? I need to really he's hurt so much. I don't even know if he's playing.
He's playing. I took Philly.
I would. I don't trust the Browns. We played good defense last week, but the weather definitely helped us. But I don't trust our defensive backfield at all. And I mean,
and more likely Garrett's going to be out.
Say what?
And said more than likely Garrett's going to be out.
What? Where did you hear that at?
He got put on the COVID list today. I thought I saw that he it came back positive.
Shut your dirty whore mouth.
I know he's on it, but I can't remember. I know he was put on the list. And I'm pretty sure they said he was tested positive. And it said that they don't know if he's going to be able to play, but it's like if he tested positive this late, there's no way he's going to be able to play.
Yeah, there's no way. But I don't see. Oh my. Whoa. Yeah, there you go. There's a little extra sound for you. That's Matt Pierce special. Yeah, I'm not. Why? Now you got me all nervous, Kevin. Miles. I spell his name.
Myles.
I always get the E and L mixed up. COVID. God, why did you tell me that, Kevin? I'm sitting here drinking a strawberry. Oh. On reserve COVID-19 list. Son of a. Oh, we're fucked. We are humped dirty style. He has tested positive.
Okay, so yeah. So
and he literally, the thing is, he's probably defensive. Fucking, I hate these stupid pop-up commercials.
Yeah.
And he's probably like defensive player of the year right now. Who's better? I mean, I know I'm a homer. I know I'm a hardcore homer, but come on.
TJ Watt's having a hell of a year.
I just don't think he's having a Myles. I love TJ Watt, even though he plays for the Steelers, but I don't think he's having a Myles Garrett year.
Hey, just think about next year after Houston cuts JJ and he joins the Steelers. We have all 3 Watts.
That's probably where he go. I could imagine him going to Pittsburgh.
Only 2 of them do anything, but hey, whatever. We'll have all three brothers.
Doesn't the other one play tight end or something?
Fullback when he's not hurt.
That's some good genes when you could pop out 3 NFL players.
Yeah.
And
you got to think about it. JJ, when he went, I think he was a tight end, and he changed over to defense like his senior year or something like that. And then TJ was the same thing. He played, I don't know if he played tight end or he played something else, but then he switched to linebacker also his last year.
That's a great retirement plan if you're a parent. Pop out some NFL players.
Heck yeah.
Early retirement. Because they probably bought them cars, houses. They're not working anymore.
There was a big thing the other year where JJ gave his mom a Range Rover or some shit.
Yeah, Mama's not working anymore.
No.
Steelers 9-0. I'm impressed. The thing is, if you watch their games, and this isn't just I respected that 9-0, but they're not like they have some holes in that team.
Oh yeah. They haven't played a perfect game. So that's the thing to Tomlin, like he said this past week, and where some people were talking about, a lot of people were kind of like just overlooking it like everything. But he sat there and he made the comment because Cincinnati looked a lot better, but he was saying how bad our run game was, and he said that we might be perfect on the season, but he's like our team is far from perfect. We haven't played a perfect game yet, and that's kind of scary because it's like they've had some pretty good games, and they haven't had a perfect game, on all sides of the ball. And if they could put it together and be more consistent, that team could be scary. But the bad thing about it is the one thing that I can't stand about Tomlin coaching is, but I mean, it's like a Steelers thing, though. We play down to our opponent, like the Cowboys game. That game should not have been that close against a 4th-string quarterback. But but that's just the way they are. They remind me of the Buckeyes to a point. It's like they might blow you out. Well, more with Tressel. Urban Meyer even he kind of started changing to like the Tressel ball, where it's like, all right, we're up by 30. As long as we're up by 10 at the end, it's all good. So it's like, and the Steelers, they've done that for so long. They did it under the Coward. They do it under Tomlin. And it's just like Cincinnati, we beat them pretty good. And it's just like, they must have not sent in the, white flag message early enough or something, because it's like we don't get like that. We always stay close.
Yeah, but I'd like to be close at 9-0. I know I'd be happy if Cleveland was. Hell, dude, I'm thrilled Cleveland 6-3.
That's the thing. Like someone at work, a couple people at work were asking me, Browns fans, they're like, "Are the Steelers going to go undefeated?" I'm like, "No."
No.
They're like, "You don't think they're going to go undefeated?" I was like, "No." I was like, "We play too many close games for one." And I was like, "They're not worried about it." I was like, "We could be 15-0." And I was like, "They're going to sit everybody the last week against the Browns." And I was like, and that bothers me so bad because it's like, I don't want to take the chance of the Browns winning. But it's like, I understand. It's like, I would rather, no, I wouldn't. I just don't think Mason Rudolph could do it, because I can't say I'd rather, lose to the Browns instead of lose Roethlisberger. And it's like, I can't go that far. But it's like, I don't want to take a chance of Roethlisberger getting hurt, because if he gets hurt, we ain't going nowhere. So it's like.
Yeah, here's the thing. The thing is, that game is probably going to be big for Cleveland, depending on how things play out.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the playoffs being the playoff, Cleveland's just right outside the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like the team from Maryland has a tiebreaker because they won that first game. And the thing with Steelers going undefeated is also the North is tough, man. Like, yeah. Cleveland's good. I know people are still hating on us, but you think about it. I was thinking about it. Like, I didn't realize that Indianapolis was 6-3. We beat them. You got the two. I get the team from Maryland. You guys blew us out. I don't know that that's going to happen next time. I think having Chubb in there to help with hopefully if he stays healthy, help with the running game, because that's the thing. Stefanski, the only time we play poorly is when he gets scared and gets away from the running game too early. If he just keeps throwing it down people's throats with those two backs, I'm okay. Like, I think we could beat the Eagles this week. We keep the ball, control the ball, run like a mother. Don't put it in Baker's hands. He's what's the dude from the Cowboys? Not Dak, the good quarterback from the Cowboys.
Andy Dalton?
No, the one retired who's in the Hall of Fame.
Aikman?
Yeah, he could be like Aikman. If you look at Aikman was like a 250-yard a game guy from most games. What do you do? He got it to his key players. He handed Emmitt Smith like a mother. Like, utilize him to do those things. He's gonna have some turnovers. But this race is like we're in like the hunt. We have a real chance, especially with that extra playoffs team.
They're talking if COVID gets crazy again and they have to like move schedules around and crap again. They're talking about possibly adding an 8th playoff team in case they got to cancel games or something.
So that if there's like not enough tiebreakers or something.
Yeah.
Why not just push the season? Everybody wants it. Just push it out. Like everyone else is starting late, so it's not like you're gonna have a lot of competition. I would push it.
I think they'd have competition anyways.
No, they won't. It's the NFL. They're the kings of all sports. But I'm just saying, like, I think it would be fun. Like, I thought it was cool having the NBA as late as we did. I'm interested to see how the NBA does outside the bubble. Like, I think they're going to end up back in a bubble, personally.
Yeah.
Which I would.
I don't know if they'll do it again. I don't know if everyone would be on board this time.
Yeah, for 82 games, that'd be kind of hard.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's tough,
like, I mean, they could try, but I just don't see it happening. That's where hockey's at right now. They're trying to figure out what to do.
Well, I guess the Major League Baseball made it through 60 games. I mean, they had they had to move shit around a little bit, but they made it through. NFL
seems like, if you think about it, they only had like 4. Well, they had like 2 serious outbreaks and a couple teams that were affected by it. But there was only 2 major teams, the Marlins and St. Louis were the only ones, and St. Louis was hit worse because they had to miss a bunch of games.
Yeah,
but you had minor incidences here and there, but yeah, you only had the 2 big outbreaks. So, I mean, it's doable. NFL's doing pretty good with it right now, but I mean, they're also doing the whole, hey, you got to figure it out. It's just kind of like.
But I think you do like the NFL. You put them in their their COVID reserve list, pull that player, and keep moving on. It sucks. Like it's going to suck playing without Myles Garrett. You look at teams who like lost key players, like on the offensive side. It sucks, but it is what it is. Like on some level, I blame the players because I feel like the people who've gotten COVID. My guess is they violated the protocol somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
Like if you went into like a deep dive, somebody violated some protocols, and now they're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had these strawberries, Kevin? Seriously?
No.
They're fucking delicious. Like it's the girliest drink ever.
I know it sounds like it.
Oh, by the way, I had a dream last night. Tell your wife I'm gonna win the lottery. And because I already had this dream, and we made her our accountant, so she's good. She's gonna be able to quit her job soon. Because I feel like dreams come true if you really put your head to it. I'm gonna win the lottery. We're gonna make Miranda our accountant. You guys are gonna have to move up here though.
Okay.
Because I need like my money person. I need to have constant contact. So I don't know how tied you guys are to Warren, but in my dream you weren't very tied to it.
Okay.
Because I pay very well. You're going to have to be like a house husband, probably, because Miranda's going to be busy handling my money. So she's going to be busy because I'm going to be super rich. I'm winning probably like $250 million, I think. Or you guys might have to move to Utah because I think if we win $250 million, we're probably going back to Utah. No more yogurt for me. I'm going back to Utah. I'm going to be a house husband too if it makes you feel any better. And Kim, we're gonna be house couple because Kim and I aren't doing shit. I decided we're gonna take a month and we're gonna be like hardcore drug addicts because I want to try everything that I was always afraid to try. So for like a month, I'm just gonna be coke, everything. Okay, not meth because meth is bad, but like all the natural stuff, coke, hallucinogens, some ayahuasca, like the stuff. Like I'm not gonna shoot up because I feel like that's crossing some lines. But like you might come to don't bring the kids to my house that first month because there's probably gonna be a big pile of coke somewhere.
Well, if that's the case, you might want to lose a little bit of weight before you start doing all these drugs because I don't think that would mix well.
So I have a big goal, and I haven't even told Kim this for this upcoming year. Probably have to start in December, like before Christmas, like December 1st. But I have a big goal for by next Christmas. It's probably even unrealistic, but we'll see because I might end up having weight loss surgery this year because I started the paperwork to go through that process, which is like 6 months of diet. You have to go through 6 months of like diet focus, like
Yeah. And don't you guys like see a therapist or something?
Yeah, we already do that. Like here's the I think everybody in America should have to go to therapy. I think it's the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. I love therapy. Sorry to do that. But yeah, it's therapy. You have to do 6 months of observed diet, which means they give you a diet plan. You come in every month, weigh in, show you're committed to the program. And then I started this one time at ATI, but then they shut the plan down. So it got a little difficult. Mm-hmm. Didn't have insurance anymore. So, but I would like to lose 300 pounds by next Christmas.
With the surgery?
Silence in the room, everybody. Silence in the room.
No,
yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but I feel like I have to. Dude, you know me. Like I have to have retarded goals. Oh man, I said the R word. I have to have mentally impaired goals. Like that's just who I am. Like I have to have a mentally disabled goal, or I just won't even try. Like if I said I had to lose 40 pounds, I'm like, oh fuck, what's the 40 pounds? I still couldn't see my feet in 40 pounds from now. So yeah, 300 pounds with or without the surgery.
Without the surgery, that's going to be pretty near impossible, I would think. But
here's the thing. I watched a YouTube video, and this is what got me on
YouTube. It's got to be true.
No, well, it was video. Like YouTube's not like the news, okay?
Well, I mean, they get fact checked because they're owned by all the same people. So,
I mean, fact checked.
Sorry. I mean, unless like Donald Trump did it, it would be all right. It wouldn't be taken down. So,
I mean, he is saying he won an election, but we'll get there in a bit, I'm sure. Anyways, what I'm saying is this guy lost 260 some pounds. Now he was pretty extreme. Like he was walking like 6 hours a day. So, but that is my goal to be right now when I weighed in Monday. Here's my phone. I'll tell you exactly what I weighed when I weighed in Monday. I don't think my wife even knows this. Sorry, I'm returning a text message. Let's bring up MyFitnessPal. I don't know if you ever had the MyFitnessPal app, but I'm a big fan of it.
I don't know. I've used one before.
All right, so 3-day streak. Woo! All right. So when I weighed in on Monday, I weighed 606 pounds. So that would be a 306 pound weight loss by December 25th next year. Now it would be like hardcore. Like I'd have to cut out all sugar. I'd have to cut out pretty much all carbs.
Yeah.
Like it would be hardcore. But like I have to like go crazy. Like I can't do like half-ass goals.
Yeah.
Because I don't get no satisfaction from those. Like, you know how some people say like I want to like they're fat like me and they're like, oh, I just want to lose 50 or 60 pounds. And they lose it and they're like, oh God, I did it. I'm so happy. And they're like crying and like hugging their cousins.
And then they put on 70.
They put on 70 or like they're okay with that. They don't move forward. I can't do that. If I lost 60 pounds right now, I'd be like, oh, whatever. Like, but it wouldn't change my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wouldn't change my mental attitude, nothing. But I feel like it can only be good for me. Like with my stuff like shutting down, it can only be good for me to do it.
Yeah, I mean, losing weight obviously would be better for you.
And you know how many girls I could pull if I was 300 pounds lighter? Oh my God. It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what your wife would say about that, but
she's cool. She's cool. Yeah, she's totally fine. I mean, she, maybe have to share them, but she'd be fine. But no, she maybe kill me. But how? Maybe that's cool. Like maybe she'll like, oh, why are all these hot girls looking at you? Because I'm fucking hot. Look at me. I'm a 300-pound Jewish dragon. Not a 600-pound Jewish dragon. Woo! Because I feel like when we went to Vegas, I was 420. And I didn't like 420. 340 was a good weight. Like, honestly, like when I was like 300 to like, I'll say like 370, I was pretty confident. 360. I still had some like emotional swagger. And then you get that 4 in front of you and you just fucking kicks you in the balls. So the goal is 300. But the problem is, here's what I gotta do. When I come up your way and like when I go see Nikki and Kyle, I can't like go out to eat. Or like, or if I do, I can't like hot dog shop's probably gonna have to take a year break for me. Or like there's this place Nikki and we go to called Ponchos. Ponchos is probably I'll have to probably order a salad from Ponchos and not the chicken strip dinner, which is so good. Like I need like it's gonna take some like hardcore like Jared type shit. I know Jared's a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile, but let's be honest. Jared lost a shit ton of weight, did a good job. Pretty impressive. It's like Michael. It's like Michael Jackson. Yeah, he's a pedo, but his music's really good. Like, not everybody's bad at about everything, right? Like, some people do some good shit. Like Trump. He's a piece of shit human, but I'll give him some credit occasionally when he does something commendable. Like, you just have to like give people credit. Jared lost a shit ton of weight. And all that dude was walk back and forth to Subway every day for like forever.
Did he really? I
don't know.
Or was he just chasing young kids around because they get full of energy and?
Well, I mean, maybe that was his motivator. Like, oh, I gotta get these kids some candy. And instead of eating the candy himself, he gave it to the little kids, which then he took inappropriate videos of, and we don't approve of that on this show.
No,
but we gotta call the facts the facts. That's what he did. It's been proven. It's on his laptop. The guy's in prison. Probably somebody's boyfriend. I don't know. Maybe he's in a loving man-on-man relationship with 3 or 4 cellmates. I don't know. Maybe he's like the 4th sister wife of a prison FLDS family. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't think I'd survive prison. Prison would be like the worst place for me. I'm fat. And have you seen their beds? Not very big. And you see the mattresses? You're not getting lumbar support from those mattresses.
No, you're not.
I mean, I spent 4 days in jail once and got so sick because I refused to use the bathroom. I got so sick I thought I was going to die. Because the first night I was there, I know I've told this story 100 times. The first day I was there, they had baked beans, cornbread, and whatever else was on the plate. But those are the things I remember very clearly. Right? And I went to town because I was hungry. I just got arrested for something I didn't even do, which was a whole nother story, which means I spent 4 days in jail. Oh, because I know why it was 4 days. It's because it was a Memorial Day weekend, so they didn't have court on Monday, and I got arrested on like a Friday. So I was just chilling 4 days in jail. Anyways, right off the bat, I'm talking like 10 minutes after eating my first meal on that Friday. My belly's like, hey, dude, we need an exit strategy. And because I didn't have my own cell, like where I was even sharing a cell with one other dude because of jail, you're not going to believe this, but jails in Akron are overcrowded. Crazy.
Yeah.
I had to sleep in like the main social area, whatever it's called, the block. It's my hardcore prison stories I'm telling you here.
I'd say the only time I've been there was to pick you up.
Yeah.
And to pick my dad up.
Summit County Jail. I had to sleep in like the main social area against the window. And so the only bathroom I could use was the one that was like literally in the middle of the cell block. And everyone could just basically watch you. I mean, they had like walls around it, but they weren't like 6-foot walls. Like you were pooping in front of America.
Your head's above the wall. You're just like,
hey guys, what's going on?
Hit me.
Deal me in. Playing spades while taking a dump. But right away I had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, nope, this is not happening. And I held that, Kevin, for 4 days. My mom, finally, I got to go to court, got my bail set, which ended up, this all got thrown out because it was my ex-wife, me and my ex-wife, who at the time, we were both pretty assholes at the time to each other. So she's probably a good person now. But my mom gets me out of jail. No, she didn't bail me out. She just came and got me because she wouldn't bail me out. I finally get out, and like the next day, I took the greatest poop of my life that day. I'm talking like a glorious dump. And for like the next 2 weeks, I thought I was gonna die because I think I got like some kind of system poisoning from holding that stuff in too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, Kevin, I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was over. I was like, oh, this is how I go, holding in the poo. Do you ever get here's? Do you and Miranda? Let's talk a little bit about our lives here. Do you guys ever discuss your poos?
No,
like, never.
No,
That's probably just me. So I've come I'm pretty proud of my poos lately, and I want to tell Kim right away how it felt, if it hurt coming out, because those are the best ones. The ones that hurt when they come out are the best because you feel like you've accomplished something when they're done. And so I want to tell Kim right away, or sometimes secret time in our little room. Maybe I'm talking about it as it's happening. Like, this feels so good. Yeah, and that's what she does. She shakes her head. She says I'm weird.
I agree with her.
I thought that was marriage. I thought that's just what you did.
I still look at there's still certain things where I'm just like, I don't care. I can love you all. I can love you more than anything. There's still some things I don't want to hear about.
Yeah, I think Kim's the same way.
And that's definitely one of them.
I think Kim's the same way, but I don't care. My love is, I want to tell her everything. Like I was telling her today about the two things that suck about getting old so far, because I'm an old man now, is I'm always like, I think it's part of being fat, but I'm always achy. And the weirdest shit, by the way, like I get excited, like I'm so excited about this furniture coming, Kevin. Like, it's almost as good as like some hot girl trying to hit on me. Like, that's how excited I am.
Like, I agree with you about the whole getting older and like you're excited about your furniture. And it's like we're not getting a real Christmas tree this year because we've been going out and we go to this tree farm and we cut ours down and we take Winnie, and Winnie likes going out there and everything. But with Miranda working from home, she's working out of the basement. And last year, the Christmas tree, like we couldn't spend that much time downstairs in the basement because all of her allergies were so bad. So she's like working down there. She's like, we can't get a tree. She's like, I won't be able to do it. So we're putting up a fake tree. And she's like, of course, first thing is like, how's Winnie going to react? Is she going to be upset? And it's like, she's 4. Of course, she's going to be upset. So I was like, I'll decorate outside since we're not getting a real tree. And it's like, I've never decorated outside before. So last weekend I started, and it's like, as I'm going, I was like, well, I could go and buy this and this. I could buy that. And then it's like, I go to Home Depot because I ran out of lights. I need to buy some more lights anyways. And then I'm like picking up lights, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get this air blow up thing. Then like look over here and like, I'm going to get this. So it's like, I'm all excited like an hour and a half later. And like, I go up and I pay, and they tell me how much it costs. I'm like, yeah, I definitely probably should have been paying attention to prices when I was grabbing shit. And I made a comment, and the girl's like, do you need to put stuff back? And I'm like, no. I was like, I got the money. I was like, just wasn't really planning on paying this much for it or everything.
Yeah.
But even like during the week at school, at work, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, maybe next year I could buy this or I could buy that. And I'm like,
oh yeah, like we're doing these house projects, right? And I'm like, we're drilling shit. And I'm like, oh my God, if I could put a compressor in the garage, I could get pneumatic tools and just run hose through the house and have like power tool, like, you know what I'm saying? Like pneumatic tools through the house. And I'm like really excited about this idea. In Menards, might be like the idea of going to Menards and getting shit. Like I sent Trevor in to Lowe's today for paintbrushes and some other stuff. And I was like, oh God, yes, we're going to Lowe's. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love it.
I stopped at Home Depot on the way home today. I was the same way. I was like, and I started looking through the tools and like toolboxes because I got like 2 small toolboxes. It's like I need more tools, and then so I'm looking at those. I'm looking at toolboxes. I was like, I need something to store them all in. And like we got a Harbor Freight right up the street.
Oh yeah, we got one of those right by our house too.
And it's like, yeah, their stuff is like cheaper stuff, but I mean, it's the stuff that I've got from there is not bad. And I'm like, I might just end up buying. Like when I need stuff, I was like, I might just go there because then if it does break, it's either pay them more money and go to Home Depot or wherever and buy the better brand, or just buy another one, because it's like it's cheap.
Yeah, I think we just ordered a double stacker toolbox, which would be my first toolbox I've ever owned. The other day, I think that's coming. It's hard to remember what I have coming at this point, Kevin. I just buy shit and I'm like, we're rich. We're really not. It's bad. But by the way, talk about cool shit we bought. We bought these like moving straps that you put like around your shoulders and then you hook like it's like for moving like our I have this recliner that I wanted to move in the living room until this new chair gets here. So if it's not here by the time my mom comes, she has somewhere to sit. And like I'm fat and like it's hard for me to move stuff. Like everything's hard. So, but we bought this shit. Like you put these straps on around your shoulders, and then like you put the other straps under whatever you're picking up, and then you hook them to your shoulders. So all your lifting is with your legs.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen when we got a refrigerator. That's what the guys.
Yeah.
Had.
Well, that's where I saw them at first, and I told Kevin, I was like, we got to get those because those guys like moved the refrigerator like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what we need because I'm weak. Like if I'm gonna be able to help, like we need something like this because I just don't have any arm strength anymore. Let me tell you, Kevin, I'm so excited moving that chair. I was like, oh, look at me. I'm so strong. Littlest stuff like that makes me excited. But the other thing I hate about getting old, close your ears if you're listening and you're young, but your balls will start to like sink. And I don't like that part. My balls are constantly in the way now. And it's only I can only imagine it's going to get worse. Like, I remember, what was that show? The Road Trip show? You remember that movie, Road Trip?
Oh,
the
yeah.
Old man, the old man. Yeah. And the old man's balls were like, yeah. Yeah. When Tom Green feeds the snake. And,
yeah, my favorite part of that movie is the old guy gets high. And he's looking at the dog. I can't remember what he says to the dog. And he just sits there and the dog's like, tell that bitch to make me some pancakes.
Yeah. That was a good movie. But his balls were hanging. I'm like, oh, that's a little bit overstated. And I'm like, now that I think about it, because I'm 41 and my balls have already started their descent. I'm like, by the time I'm 60, it's probably going to be the case. Like, so now I'm trying to figure out a way to come up with like a ball holder, so they don't like fall as hard. Yeah, like you wear like like you would like girls wear bras, a ball bra. That's it. I just got the name, ball bra. So you take your ball bra, you strap it on, so your balls don't get in the way when you sit down. Like, you ever sat on your own balls, Kevin? Let me tell you, I have started to sit on my own balls. It is not a tremendous feeling.
I believe it.
By the way, I hate that I've ever downloaded TikTok.
Never did.
Okay, so I downloaded it because, our Gary, who's now too good for us, is TikTok famous.
Okay.
Even though he's too good for us now. I should invite him. And so I'm like, oh, I would never do this. I try to do a couple of TikToks. I just don't get it. But let me tell you, Kevin, I can spend hours at work when I have downtime just fucking scrolling through TikToks like in the most random shit. I'm learning about strippers. I'm learning about like dominatrixes. But then sometimes people do these story times that you just got to like go through. And it's the biggest waste of time. The stories never make any fucking sense. But here I am, just like, oh, part 2, got to see it.
I know, one of the sports things that I follow on Facebook, they had posted, there was a link so you can watch it. I think she did it on TikTok. It was some reporter, I can't remember, she lives in Michigan. And she did a thing like when they canceled the Big Ten. And it was like she would wear a shirt from whatever school. There was a handful of schools, and she'd go through like them canceling, saying it was canceled, and she was acting like whatever from that school. She'd have the shirt on, and it was pretty funny because then after the Big Ten came out and they're like, all right, we're coming back, we're having a season, she did another one, and I can't remember what the girl's name was. I'll have to look it up and send it to you, but it was so funny to watch her because I think I found it on YouTube also because I made Miranda watch it. But it was so funny for her to go through because, like, when she did the one where the Big Ten announced they were coming back, like, she went to Michigan State, but her family was, like, Michigan. So they're all big Michigan fans or whatever. So, like, she would wear a Michigan shirt, and she was acting like they were trying to, like, organize everything, and they were trying to be nice and talking to the Big Ten, and it's like, oh, you're not allowed to do this and that, and then all of a sudden it's like she's on her Michigan State shirt, and she's like, party, and they're like, no, We can't party. That's not what we're doing. And then just like next thing you know, she's like being Northwestern. She's got glasses and holding a book because it's like a smart school or whatever. And it's like, I really don't think we should be playing with the pandemic going on. And then all of a sudden, it's like she comes in as Ohio State. It's like, shut up, you're gonna suck anyways. And then it's like, when she got to Ohio State, they make it where she picks up the phone. She's like, yeah, that banner that we ordered about Big Ten champions, we'd like to replace that order for the banner again. And then it goes back to Michigan, and it's like they're already wearing a banner. Don't they got to play yet? And then like Michigan State comes back on, and it's like you're not going to beat them. Just shut up. it was pretty good.
See, now I have to find it, and I'll probably go down the whole rabbit hole of that now.
Yeah, because like I said, you got to start with the first one where they cancel the season. They're all pissed off, and when they bring it back, it's freaking hilarious.
TikTok is like a rabbit hole of just madness. Kim got me into it too, but because her and Trevor like send me the most random ass TikTok. Trevor's the worst. Like, I don't know. I didn't realize how like demented my son was. I thought he was this innocent child until he started sending me TikToks. And I'm like, oh man, this kid's as fucked up as his dad. This is bad.
My buddy at work's always watching them, and he'll send like if there's a sports one or something really funny, he'll send it to me.
They're just annoying because they're only like a minute or less long. So like just when you're getting interested, it's like, oh, so watch for part 2. And then like if you're not on that person's page, then you have to go find part 1 on their page. And then it's like it's just a whole like TikTok's got me so pissed off. Damn you, TikTok. It's getting hot in my room. I don't know if that's the alcohol or if it's really just getting hot in here because we turn up the heat.
A little bit of both.
Maybe that might be true. Man, this hat is like sexy. Like I'm looking really good in this hat.
Hey, so we got to talk about this weekend. It's like my second favorite weekend of the year. Well, they moved it up early because of freaking the Rona playoffs. But
yeah, there's like a whole drama out here about New Bremen.
Oh, yeah,
I guess
blew out Kennedy.
Did they win?
Oh yeah, 31-0. They beat the crap out of them.
Well, I know. Well, the thing was, like, they wanted to practice on St. Mary's Field because I guess St. Mary's has a turf field.
Yeah.
And then St. Mary's told me to dick, basically. Like, so there's like a whole lot of drama down this way about that.
That's hilarious.
I saw Massillon was playing on the TV before I came in here. Mm-hmm. They were down 14-6 at halftime.
They lost 30-something to 6.
So you didn't even go to any games this year, did you? Because of COVID?
Yeah, dirty bastards. Yeah, they wouldn't let me go.
So are any of your teams still in it?
No. But well, there's a couple like tomorrow Kirtland's playing and I really like them. They're close. They're like an hour away, 45 minutes to an hour away. So our paper doesn't really cover them too much, so I always got to look them up. But I usually go see them in the playoffs because there's usually a game that they play that's close to us that I get to go see them. And they're a smaller school, and they're just a powerhouse because I think this is going to be like 7 out of 8 years they're playing for a state championship right now, and I think they've won 5 of them or something like that. You know, it's something crazy. And they're so good that they were Division 6, and last year they moved up to Division 5, so they're playing, you know, a little bit bigger schools. And last year everyone's like, I don't know if they're going to be able to handle it. Fucking steamrolled everybody, went undefeated and won the state title. And so that game's at 1 o'clock. They're playing Ironton, which is a rematch from last year, which was a really good game. And I don't know if they're doing it this year, but last year they had instant replay. Which I don't think they're doing it this year because they played at Canton last year. And during that Ironton game, they had a goal line stand. It was right before halftime. The clock was ticking, and Ironton didn't have any timeouts. And they were all like 6-inch line, and they went for it. It was just a QB sneak, and they stuffed them. And then they actually went, reviewed it, and then finally came back out. And Kirtland's coach was like, "We stopped him. Let's go." And he took him to the locker room, and like they reviewed, and they came back, and they're like, "Yeah, the guy didn't even get like any momentum going forward at all. Got shut down. Probably the best game I watched last year." But so they play at 1, and then Sunday at 5:15, Springfield, which they consider them close because they play in one of our conferences over here.
Yeah.
They're playing the other team from your area, Coldwater, which Coldwater is a heck of a team. They're
I know
always
where that's at.
they're always playing for a state championship.
So is New Bremen in the state championship now? Like, I don't know.
They won
how this shit works. Oh, so they're the state champions?
Yeah.
For their division or whatever?
Mhm. Division 7.
Oh, it's gonna be nuts. Like I told you when I moved here, like the one thing about this area, they take their fucking high school football seriously down here.
Oh yeah, I remember. I told you as soon as you said we were moving.
Like,
I was like, dude, the area you live in, the conference that they play, it's like the Midwest Athletic Conference or something. It's the MAC. I think that's what they call it. It's the Midwest Athletic Conference. Since 2010, they have won 16 state championships in football. They have multiple teams every year in the state championship game because they go from like, I think they're like Division 4 to Division 7 that they got teams that represent in that conference alone. And the one year, it was just a couple years ago, I know they had 3 teams playing for state titles, and I think all 3 won.
Yeah, like in Minster, like if you drive through Minster, like there's like posters of all the kids on the houses, and
they won a couple of years ago. They might have won last year, but I remember when Kennedy, who lost to New Bremen today, Kennedy, when they won back in 2016, they beat Minster in the state championship game. So it's just like I said, you got Minster, Coldwater, who's always there. There's New Bremen. Anna was there last year.
Oh yeah, I drive through Anna every day.
No, I just totally went blank. But I was like reading, because I was reading the Kennedy article today, and it was like listing all of them. And I'm like, yeah, I've watched all those. Because Kirtland was playing Marion Local. They're the other, Marion Stein Local or whatever it is. They're playing there quite a bit. And Kirtland, I think they played them like 3 or 4 times in the state championship. And it's just, like I said, that conference is like unbelievable.
It has to be because out here there's nothing but like all these farm kids. They don't have nothing else to do.
And that's what why Kirtland's so good. It's a little farm town. And there's some big boys.
Oh, yeah. Well, all they're doing is throwing hay and playing football because there's not shit else to do here. Like, it's not like this is the hot spot for fun. Even here in Lima, it's not like we're like, woo. I do hear a lot of police cars lately. Trevor says our murder rate's going up significantly.
Well, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, I guess not. Murder people and try to avoid COVID.
If that be by gun, you got to keep 6 feet distance.
Yeah, like it's nuts.
Yeah, but how about this is crazy. So when they started the season and they did all their Corona crap, it was the 6-game regular season, and then you started the playoffs. If you wanted to be in the playoffs, anyone that wanted to be in the playoffs can be in the playoffs. And like in our area, I think 3 schools were like, we're not going to go to the playoffs because they suck so bad. Which I'm like, it's still the playoffs. You never know. You can get lucky. And then Champion was going to be in the playoffs, and first time since the 90s. But then they had a Corona outbreak, so they had to forfeit their game. So the playoffs have been going on for fucking 2 months now. Yeah, just about 2 months. And so go through all that. Originally, the state championships were going to be played in Canton because they got a contract for a couple more years.
Yeah.
Well, the closer it got, they're like, oh, well, we want to get as many fans as we can to see it socially distanced, which they're not selling tickets to the public. So it's like, I don't understand unless you're going to up it for the schools. I don't know. But so they move it to Cortex something stadium outside of Columbus. And I'm like, just the name sounds freaking awesome. And they showed a picture, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go to that stadium at some point in time. So so they do that, and then all of a sudden yesterday it comes out that Franklin County, Columbus, went purple, so they're on lockdown or whatever. So the stadium's in there, and then they're like, we don't think you should have the championships here the day before they start. And so it's like they're hustling, trying to figure out what to do. And you got Massillon. They're like, hey, you could use our stadium. So they moved the state championships the day before they start the Massillon. So now, like, St. New Bremen and Coldwater, they got like a 4-hour trip to get to Massillon now instead of 2 hours to get to Columbus, 2.5 hours.
Does Massillon play on turf? Random question.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out why it was such a big deal, but it was like a real big deal.
State championship games are on turf. on a normal year, after week 1, all games are on turf, which I hate. It's Ohio. You should be playing in mud. If it's snowing outside, the ground should be wet.
Yep.
You know, but yeah. So normal year, it's on turf. Championship's always on turf. So they move it to Massillon. Massillon's playing in the state championship. So Massillon's the away team playing at their home stadium. And so, like, you got all these teams that got longer drives now, but then you got Akron Hoban playing Massillon, and they got to play at Massillon. So it's kind of like, and they showed the stands, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they allowed more than just like 4 tickets per player, because like that place was packed tonight. And then Hoban beat them, which is funny because when you think of Ohio high school football, like the top 2 teams you think about, usually Massillon and Camp McKinley, because that's like the biggest rivalry. Everybody knows that game. When you say Ohio football, if you follow any kind of football, especially high school, if you know one thing about Ohio, it's Massillon and Canton. So Massillon they proclaim they have the most state championships. All of them are AP championships. They've never won a state championship since it went to the playoffs system, which was back in the 70s or something like that. So they still have like all these signs around their stadium about like most state championships, but they've never won a tournament. They've played for them quite a few times, but they've never won one.
Because they must all be rigged, like every other thing. Everything's rigged.
Or they're just overhyped. And
like, I don't watch really any high school football, and I know Massillon McKinley rivalry. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it helps I grew up like 5 minutes from McKinley's Hall of Fame field, but
yeah, so I'm all pumped. Like I said, tomorrow, the 1:00 game, I'm excited about. And then another team that's over by you, they're not in your guys' conference, but Van Wart, they're a little bit more north than you guys.
I know where they're at, yep.
Yeah, that's around where Trisha lives. So they're playing Maple Heights.
Trish lives in Van Wart?
They live in, I think it's Clearwater.
That's like a half hour from me in Lima.
Yeah.
It's really close.
Yeah, Miranda's already said when we go out there, we have to make a trip to swing by Trisha's to see her too.
Oh, it's all about Trish.
Well, what was funny was
Miranda, suddenly it might not be my account when I'm rich.
Well, what was funny was she sat there and I was trying to work it out to come down. I was going to come down on one weekend and help you paint. And she's like, you could take Winnie with you. And I was like, that's a trip. I was like, it was like 4 hours or whatever. And I was like, do I really want to stop for her to pee that many times? And then I was like, we're going to be painting. And I was like, we're not playing. And she's like, we'll just drop her off at Trisha's house. And I was like,
oh, she could come. We'll let her paint.
It's like, what is this, a taxi service? Like,
bring her into some paint clothes. We'll paint. I'll get her in front of the microphones. We'll have a good old time.
But yeah, so I'm just.
She'd love to hear herself.
Oh yeah, she does.
She'd have a freaking field day, I think.
How about she came home? Was after the Brown Steelers game? I had her send you a couple messages.
Oh yeah, I got them.
And so you send yours back, and she's always like, I can't believe he said that. Why would he say the Browns are better? And so I have to explain to her. I was like, well, Browns fans are delusional, and they think their team's good. And she just kind of looks at me because I'm like, yeah, she's 4. I'm trying to over-explain it. And, well, then she comes home like a couple days later, and she's like, Daddy, I can't root for the Steelers no more. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And she's like, I'm going to root for the Browns. I was like, well, wait a second. I was like, there's like 2 teams in this house you can't say you root for. And they're one of them. And I was like, so I look at Miranda. I was like, has Matt been sending her messages not to my phone? And she's like, no. And I was like, so why do you root for the Browns? And she's like, oh, Nicolette. Her daddy's a Browns fan, so she likes the Browns. Nicolette's my best friend. So I'm a Browns fan. I was like, well, you could tell Nicolette. I was like, this is a Steelers household. So I was like, you can be friends with Browns fans, but I was like, you can't become a Browns fan. I was like, you're a Steelers fan. And she's like, no, I'm going to be a Browns fan. I was like, well, your brother's definitely going to be a Steelers fan. I was like, don't you want to, you and your brother to get along and be Steelers fans together? And it took me like 3 days because every day she would come home from school and tell me how she was a Browns fan. And Miranda's like, you do know you're breaking your dad's heart by saying that, right? And I'm just like, I can't believe this. It's like, the stuff I was like, I'd rather her ask me a hard question than come home and try to have to explain to her why she's a Steelers fan. I'm like, geez, oh man.
Hey, you got your phone?
Yeah.
You should see that I sent you. I just ordered these sliding glass doors because that's my sliding glass doors in my Browns room. You got to see the curtains that the sliding glass door covers.
Oh, okay.
Let's listen to some of these Winnie spectaculars.
Hi, Matt. Daniel Hayward is coming for you. Go Steelers. Go Steelers.
Oh, these things make my day. I love when I get these.
And the Steelers. Love you, Matt. Bye.
I hear Miranda back there laughing. Let's see one more here.
Hi, Matt. Steelers are not losing. They're losing.
Yeah. How do you not laugh? Those things make my day every single time I get them. It's like she's turning into evil freaking Steelers fan.
Oh, she does that laugh on her own, and I'm just like, that laugh.
And she's always like, "Love you, bye." It's hilarious.
Hey, that show that the Miz is on, that's called Wipeout, isn't it?
Yeah, why?
I just got an alert that a contestant died after completing it.
What?
I guess Wednesday?
You ever watch that Miz and Maurice?
No.
Kim
I've
hates.
seen like a preview for it, but I haven't watched it.
First off, Maurice is super hot.
Oh, I agree there.
Yeah, Wipeout contestant dies after completing obstacle course. Man in the 30s was declared dead at a hospital shortly after 7 p.m. Wednesday. Los Angeles County Coroner spokeswoman Sarah Whatever said the cause of death has not been released and the man's name is being withheld until relatives can be notified. The reality competition show in which contestants navigate an extreme obstacle course features giant balls, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not good. So he completed the course and needed medical attention. He was helped up by an on-site medical staff until paramedics arrived and took him to the hospital. The people spoke. I wonder what happened. I mean, that doesn't look like that show doesn't look like super risky. Like, it's like everything's kind of soft and
yeah.
Maybe he just like had other issues. But now it'll just because like everything else, like if he had other issues, like it'll be, oh, well, it's the show's fault. Even though the man probably just like maybe his heart wasn't in good enough condition or whatever to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's the world we live in now, Kevin. Everything is somebody else's fault.
Yeah,
nothing can just be like, oh, the dude's fat and he died. Oh, but he had a sneeze, so he died of corona.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy right now.
Or you sent me the one I think you sent me the one with like the bad car wreck. Like the car was just totaled. And you're like, another corona death.
That's why, like, the one I loved the best was where it had a deer on the side of the road that got hit by a car, and someone stopped and put a sign that said that died from corona.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It's just getting crazier. And here's the thing that gets me. It's like I go through my Facebook, and I got a lot of, we'll say, less intelligent people, and they're always posting like, since all these people, all the governors and stuff are like, you shouldn't do Thanksgiving, this and that. They're posting all this stuff about you should listen and not be with your family and blah, blah, blah. They're all for it.
Yeah.
And then you'll see like if someone's like, there's a news story and someone makes a comment that you're friends with, they'll come up. And of course, like I get all these things where it's like, I'll go through and they're going on these news stories and bashing people because they're like, well, I'm going to go see my family, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, all right, I understand you're trying to be righteous here, but it's like, maybe, sorry.
Oh, Kevin's got corona.
Sinus infection, maybe a little bit corona, but it's like maybe people would be more understanding of it if you wouldn't have said, we're going to do this for 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks to get it under control. and then we're on 9 months. And then it's like, so, most people canceled Easter because it was still early and all that stuff. So it's like you did that. And then not only that, but then you got it where, Chicago's mayor is telling you, you shouldn't have Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, this and that. But then she goes out and she parties at a huge get together because they announced Biden won and she's not wearing a mask. Or you got Newsom out in California saying how, 10 people, no more than 3 households, and should be outside. But then he goes to an indoor dinner party with a bunch of other couples, and there's more than 10 people there. They're inside, no one's wearing masks. Or you go to New York and they're out there popping champagne and drinking out of a bottle, passing it around after they announce Biden. And then they come out that night and complain because Notre Dame stormed the field because they beat Clemson. It's like, you can't be celebrating this and then condemning the same exact thing that night just because it's not, it's like, what? Maybe one student should have held up a sign that said "Yay Biden," and then everyone would be like, "Oh, that's the greatest celebration on field ever." It's just like, and they wonder why people are like, "Yeah, I don't care," because that's how I'm like. I sat there and I asked my grandma. I was like, "Do you want me to come over for Thanksgiving?" And she's like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay," because Miranda's like, "Well, is there any chance that we're not going to go over there?" I was like, "If she tells me that she doesn't want us coming over," I was like, "Only reason I'm not going to go, or unless like I'm around someone that's got corona, then I wouldn't go." But
yeah,
unless I'm going.
Unless someone in my house gets the Rona, we're having everyone down. Like, I've already made that decision.
Yeah, it's just crazy with all this stuff, and then people like get on this whole. People have been on this high horse, and now the whole Biden winning thing. Like their horse is even bigger, and it's hilarious because like I got into. Well, I was nice. I've been kind of.
You don't know how to be nice, fun. Kevin. Let's not lie.
Oh, I was, and because I've been having more fun since they came out and announced Biden the winner on Facebook than I was before, because someone thought they were going to be funny, and we got into a little Facebook discussion a couple months ago, which was civil, but he posted thought he was being smart or whatever, but he's just being a dick, and it's like, so how do we do this? Do we go buy hats and flags and start being mean to old people? And I was like, ooh, I saw that. I was like, I got the perfect thing to say. And by the time I got on there to sit there and give my response, somebody already beat me to it. They're like, well, as soon as you figure that out, maybe you could help me with rioting and looting. And I was like, dirty bastard, you beat me to my thing. And so he went on something about oppression and blah, 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 all this other bull crap. And then I'm like, so I was like, I still got to get involved in this somehow. So I was like, hey, does that mean if you don't agree with us that we can call you racist now?
What's up, honey?
And
no.
So I said that, and then he started going on something about like if the person something about if that person's racist, why would you even like them or something? It was something stupid like that. And I'm like, you do realize I was like, have you ever heard the president-elect talk before? And he's like, well, he's apologized and he's grown from it, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, has he apologized in the last 6 months? And he sat there and he said something. I can't remember what it was that he said. And I was like, hey, he learned from his former boss. I was like, when you make a racist comment about the future president, and then he picks you as your vice president, and then when you're running and your future vice president calls you a racist, so you pick her to be your vice president. I was like, I guess it all falls in line. And then he never responded. And I was like, did I just fucking win a Facebook battle? I was like, oh my God. I was like, I understand you really can't come back from that, but people are stupid and would said something, and he didn't. I was like, oh my God. I was so excited. And Miranda's like, maybe you should stay off Facebook. I was like, this is way more fun than it was trolling people because I wanted Trump to win.
Yeah, it's still kind of weird. That's how Trump was going to win for sure.
So did I. It's just crazy.
But I was impressed with the turnout.
Huh?
I'm impressed with the turnout.
Yeah.
That actually made me pretty optimistic.
But think about it too. Yeah, it's like, yes, he lost, but look at his numbers. His numbers grew in the minorities.
Here's the deal. Yeah, no, like I'm giving credit where credit's due. Like there is Trump for whatever rhyme or flipping reason, I'm not ripping on it. I just don't understand it. Like he is the voice of many. Like got over 70 million votes, but which is to me is a little scary that just that mindset's out there that much. But it is what it is. Like he did really well. He did better than he did last time, and like I will give him that. But I'm a little bit like he's not like the normal things like we've talked about through text, like allowing Biden to have access to. It's just for a smart transition. Like it's like the whole thing with 9/11. Like they said, one of the problems was with when Bush and Cheney, not Bush and Cheney, the guy who invented the internet. Gore, yeah. When Bush and Gore, right, when they were in their battle, they didn't have the smooth transition with the the daily updates for national security. And they say that was kind of a big reason why something like the 9/11 stuff got through and some other stuff kind of got through without being handled properly. Like, even if you want to fight it, because he's contesting it, he has every right to contest it. And honestly, I don't have a problem with that. I think he's wasting time and money. Especially Georgia just went through the hand count and pretty much changed nothing. So, like, even if you want to fight it, like, still do what every other president's done, especially since we learned from the first mistake when it didn't happen with Bush, Gore. Like, let the guy have access to the stuff that the incoming president should have access to. And then there's some baby Jesus reason you find a way to flip this thing. No harm, no foul. Like, he's the vice president anyways. He gets he has access to confidential information anyways. So it's not like you're like just saying taking Kevin Tenney, which even if it was Kevin Tenney, I still think you should have access because you got the most votes. He won the electoral. Whether you agree with it or disagree, that's what the numbers show right now.
Yeah. Give
the guy access to the stuff because that's, to me, like, that's not making the cut. And then he's kind of went silent on like COVID. He's kind of being like a little bitch about it. And I respect him more when he was out there being all like, I'm the fucking champion. I won. I know he's still doing it on Twitter, but you don't see him out there like in front of the people. And I kind of think it's a bitch move because he's not doing anything for like. And then Kim said that, or maybe I heard it on the news that they're going to go to recess without getting a package done, and people are going to lose benefits before Christmas.
They already knew that was going to happen.
But how the fuck do you how irresponsible is that on everyone's part? Like, I don't care what side you're on. Like, just be like smart about.
I agree with you, but there's like some crazy stuff in that bill that they're not willing to pass. It's both sides. Both sides need to come to an agreement.
I don't disagree with you, Kevin.
The big thing is, it's like every time that basically the Senate, the Republicans, make agreements where they'll like up this or do that. It's like, but there's certain things they're like, we're not going to do. And the House is like, no, we got to get it all. And they're waiting because they're waiting for the Georgia thing. This is not going to happen until like February. Because
Georgia just finished the hand count. They just finished the hand.
That's for the president. They're talking the
runoff. But here's the problem. You're probably 100% right. But here's the problem with that, right? Like, this is where like politics really pisses me off because it's really not for the people.
No, it's not.
Where's it going with this? Is they're going to go to recess. Like, here's the deal. Like, I hate, like, if I was the president, even if I was in the Republic, if the Democrats sent me some shit, right, that wasn't specifically focused on whatever the bill was on, right, it had all these earmarks, I'm throwing that shit out, dude. Goodbye, hasta la vista. I'm going to veto it. Like, send me a bill that has to do with, okay, how are we going to do with pay, like, unemployment, right? Like, make people make 90% of their income. Like, I don't want like shit that's going to give like congressmen raises or infrastructure because I don't think that's like what the bill's about. Like, take care of what needs taken care of. Don't blow a bunch of billions of dollars on bullshit. And I get that the Democrats are doing that, but the Republicans are just as guilty. Anytime any bills come to the floor, I guarantee if you read through it, there's bullshit earmarks.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. It's on both sides.
And if I was the president, this is why I'd be a great independent president, because I would make it very clear. Two things, like my election speech would be like, here's the deal. Like, when I take the oath, here's the deal. If we don't get shit done, vote us all out. Democrats, Republicans, vote us all out. I would say that like every day. That'd be like part of shit you hear from me every day. Like, oh, and if we're not getting shit done, get rid of us all. But like, and I'd also say, if you bring a bill to me that has a bunch of has earmarks that aren't specific to what the bill is about, I'm vetoing the shit out of that bill. Like, learn to work together, bitches.
Well, I agree with you. It's just ridiculous. But I mean, like I said, they've said it from the get go. Because even like she started her comments, and then Trump came out and said, the table it or whatever. He said that he wasn't going to sign anything, and then a couple days later, he came back out and he's like, "We need to get at least a stimulus thing."
But
the House doesn't want to do it because they don't want to just do like the payments, the 1,200 payments. They want other stuff to go with it. So they're like, no. And it's just like, but like there's stuff like they want to send all that extra money to certain states to help them out. And it's not just to help them out from Corona. It's to help like California and New York. It's to help them because they're ran horribly and they're so far in debt because they don't know what the hell to do with money. So it's like they want to send money there. They got a bunch of green admissions for their new Green Deal where they want to cut carbons and stuff, whatever. So they got stuff like that in there. Then they actually got stuff about they want to get rid of voter ID. They want to make it where you can't have voter ID as a requirement to vote, which I don't understand why that's such a big thing. That makes no sense to me. Why they try to get rid of voter ID, where it's like you need ID for a lot of things. And something as important as an election, don't you want? Which I understand it's the Democrats, so of course they want dead people and everyone else to vote. So it's like I understand, but it's like it just makes sense that you have to show ID that it's you that's voting. So they want to get rid of that. That's in that bill. Which what does that have to do with freaking stimulus? It's like.
Oh, I feel like we're agreeing here, Kevin.
Oh yeah, we are. I just like to get a little more worked up.
I agree. Like I don't like, but I also think the Republicans' bill is way too small. Because that's really what they would just want to do. Like, I wouldn't be worried about big businesses so much, and that's where their side is. They're trying to send $1,200, do big business, and a small amount for unemployment. I don't think it should be $600, but I think it should be I think we talked about this before, like 90% of what you made, because it's not your fault. Like, it's not like you left or
I know
you got fired. Like, the fucking world stopped, dude. Like, we have to unfortunately, we have to prop it up. And guess what? That's probably going to cost us some money on the back end. Taxes are probably going to have to go up somewhere to pay for this shit. But we have to do that. We have to.
Biden's going to be in there, so taxes are definitely going up, buddy.
Well, how do we expect? Here's the thing. I've never understood this from any party. How do you expect it for taxes not to go up and us to continue to pay for all the shit we pay for as a country? It just doesn't make sense. Shit doesn't get cheaper.
Stuff that you're paying,
huh?
Maybe you should look at the stuff that you're paying.
Nobody wants to do that, Kevin. Neither party wants to do that.
Well, see, that's the thing. Trump was getting rid of a bunch of stupid shit we were paying, and then people are getting all mad.
Neither party wants to do that, and I truly don't know anything specific that Trump was trying to get rid of.
Well, he got rid of the Iran deal. He got rid of the Paris deal.
Well, the Paris Agreement wasn't bad, but fair. But what I'm saying is who did I talk to the other day had a great idea of we should make the military, if we're going to police you, you're going to pay for it. If you want us there, these countries who want us there, right?
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So say you want us there, because we have a base there, right? And you want us there because we're protecting you, or no one's going to fuck with you because there's a U.S. base there.
Yeah.
And fine, we'll be there, but we're not going to cover that shit. There's so many ways we can save money. We spend way too much money on defense.
Well, still, even that, you look at that, we pay and we're over there, but then stuff the UN, NATO, the WHO, I wouldn't completely get out of the WHO. I thought that was kind of iffy, but it's all those things, we pay so much more than everybody that's a part of it.
No, I think that should be equal.
All that shit should be cut back. And I mean, Trump talked about a lot of that stuff and I don't know how well any of that worked out besides him dropping out of stuff. So
that's the problem.
Money that way. But
I think you negotiate where you pay different, because you're right. I 100% agree. We should not be financially propping up 80% of these organizations.
Yeah.
But so we should lower that. But you don't just go, oh fuck it, we're out. You go, hey, either we're gonna pay this amount or we're out. that's
like
my
a-
problem. Is he was just like a
certain ones
trigger
I
happy
agree.
kid. Like, oh, we're out. Like World Health Organization, we're out.
That one, I think it's stupid to a point, but then there was a lot of stuff that that they were going with, and it did look like they were siding with a lot of like China stuff. So it's like, but completely out of it, I don't agree with. But it's like I can understand being pissed about a lot of it, but
And like Trump, 90% of his campaign shit was bought and made outside of the U.S. Like he doesn't even make his own campaign shit in the United States. And then like now he's got this. He's trying to get money for like his lawyers and shit for all these refunds. But then you got like the small print that says, "Oh, well, we're also going to use this money to fucking pay down, for our, what our election, our, what's it called, our run when you're running, fucking
your campaign fund.
yeah, to fucking pay off campaign bills. Like he's just dirty like that. Like
Wait, what are you selling? What to pay for?
so he's asking for money to help pay for like all these.
That's what campaign contributions are for.
No, what I'm saying is he's asking for money to help pay for the legal fund for all these recounts he wants to get done. All these like things he's trying to go to court for.
Oh, okay.
And then on the little fine print, it says, "Oh, but this money might also be used for will also maybe be used for paying off campaign costs."
Okay.
Like it's just Trump shady shit. Like he's always been a shady businessman. Like I don't think that like should be better with that. Like I'm for like some of the shit he said. I'm not a complete animal, but like we can't expect to have everything that we have. Like for like we spend ridiculous amounts on things like toilet seats for the military and things like that. I would go through that budget with a fine tooth comb. I'm going to fucking Lowe's or something and getting toilet seats. I don't need to spend $500 for a toilet seat because this company's an approved. I mean, how are they going to fucking poison the toilet seats?
Hey, if you're shitting in a hole in a desert, at least you could have a good toilet seat to sit on, for Christ's sakes.
Man, a seat's a seat is a seat. Like, I'm just saying, like, that money, like, we're like investing that money in infrastructure instead of all this money we're spending on defense when we spend like the same amount as like or more as like 10 of our next 10 highest paid, like highest spending countries we spend equal to or more, and most of them are allies. Like we overdo it because like Trump. Here's the thing I will agree with Trump: the military industrial thing. Like we always want to be at war because it makes money. Like I'll agree with Trump. I don't think he did much to pull as many people as he said he was going to pull and do as much as he said he was going to. But I agree with like
falls in line with everybody else. So
I'll agree with the concept that like that's what we do. Like, oh, we use war to make money, or instead of doing that, why don't we use building infrastructure in our country, fixing bridges? Like I heard one of my employees tell me that the bridge going into Kentucky shut down.
Yeah, because it caught on a truck. Something happened with a truck and it caught on fire.
Fire, right? Yeah. So why aren't we like using money to do shit like that, improve our bridges? Think about becoming more like using more like improving technology and stuff like that on our highways and byways. Like that's where we could spend money. And what's that going to do? It's going to create jobs, good jobs. Like it's just, I think it's like where we spend our money. Like the fact that we like the fact that any president allows us to have a budget signs off on a budget that's not balanced is an embarrassment. And then you got the whole election thing, which is turning into making us look like a real bunch of fucking assholes, in my opinion.
I think we're already past that. All you gotta do is sign on to any social media in America, and you can see that.
Well, sure, no, I don't disagree with you, but it's embarrassing that the way this is all going, like they're bitching because like they called the race for Biden like on Saturday, whenever they called it, but all the votes weren't in. That shit happens every single year. Every single election that happens. That's not new. That's not like it's not like a change in the style. Like it happened when Trump won. Like all the votes weren't counted yet. It was just like the math, like the people who do the math saw the writing on the wall and they called the shit. And Hillary,
here's why they're using it, but they're not using it to the right way, is because there is like a shit ton of votes in certain states. There at the time there was a shit ton of votes left, and if you look at those numbers, you're like, okay, well, there's a chance. But they're calling it, but no, they're not saying that. Hey, those are all mail-in ballots, and then mail-in ballots, everybody knows, been 90% for Biden because Democrats don't like to go out and vote. So that's why they wanted the mail-in ballots. Like, it doesn't take much to figure out why the Democrats push mail-in balloting so hard. So it's like, so they're using it, which makes sense, but they're not using it for the whole, like, they're not using the whole reason why there's so many votes. So I mean,
but now you're just being picky. Like, aren't you just being picky at that point? Like, it's no different. They don't do that any other election. They're not like, oh, they don't make those descriptions any other election in my entire adulthood when I've actually started paying attention to this shit. They're never like, but there's this out. No, like they call it because they have people who are way smarter than me, who are like master mathematicians and statisticians who that's their job is to go, okay, like here's where the numbers are. Here's how it plays out most of the time. And they've like got historical data. They use the data. They call it. It's not like, it's not official. No one's saying that, okay, he won. We all know it's not official until the like December when they do the electoral college. Like everyone knows this, but he makes a big deal of it. And the best was Rudy's press conference, by the way, for the Four Seasons.
I heard about it.
Oh my God, it's like a dildo shop on one side. Oh my God, I didn't know about it either until Kim told me about it, and then I looked into it. It just made me laugh my ass off. It's like right at the highway exit. It's like a Four Seasons. I think it was like a lawn mowing company or like a tool rental company. On one side was like a dildo shop. On the other side was like a strip club. Like it was brilliant.
That's funny. But see, like you saying about being nitpicky, the thing about that is in the past, when you've had, most of the time, when you've had whatever, so you got 100,000 votes in the past, usually like in the past, depending on the state, 90% of those are going to be in-person voting. But with it being so big, mail-in ballots, you're getting a lot of places now where it's like whatever 100,000, 90% of those are mail-in ballots because like PA, they weren't prepared for it, and so they had some jackwagon way of doing it where they weren't allowed to start counting the mail-in ballots like most states did early. So they had most of their ballots left over that they've been counting since then have been mail-in ballots. So it's like I said, so in the past, like if you sit there and you're like in person, it's harder to sit there and say.
But they didn't call Pennsylvania for Biden until like 2 or 3 days later.
They didn't call it till Saturday. That's what made it where everyone.
Like, I don't understand what's the problem. Like, what's the problem? I guess I don't understand the problem. Like, I don't understand why we have this need. Like, I guarantee you, in like Abe Lincoln's day, we didn't know who the president was on election day. Like that shit takes time. Like, I guess I don't understand what the problem with it is.
The problem, there's really no problem with it. The problem is
watch the news. They fucking disagree with you.
Well, the news is ridiculous.
Fox News is like, it's a fucking Hannity's the best. Hannity's like, and Tucker Carlson is like, and I know those guys are Trump whores. I get it. I respect it. But they're like, it is a absolute travesty that we didn't know who the president was on election day. This could never happen again. And we're like, it technically happens every year because you don't know who the president is until you go through the process.
Yeah, but I mean, every year except for the Bush Gore one, you've known.
Sure, and guess what? Hillary, even though she thought it was fucked up, guess what she did the day after it was called? She ate her crow and said, you know what? I fucking lost, conceded to Trump. I don't even care if Trump concedes, but don't be a bitch about it. Like, don't disappear. Come on, Kevin. He's like the loudest talk. He's louder talker than you know. I got a big fucking mouth. He's the biggest, loudest talking guy in the room. We'll sit and talk all the way up to the election. He got his ass beat. He did really well, but he lost the popular. He lost the electoral, according to how it looks right now. I'm not going to get into all the court shit because I'm not an attorney. We'll see how that plays out. But as of right now, he got his ass beat. He got his ass beat in both directions. Right, just like he said, he beat Hillary's ass with her 306 electoral votes. I'm not saying he has to like come out like, oh, I'm so glad I lost, but be a fucking man. Like, there's a coronavirus going on that you're the leader for the next 64 days. people need to hear from you, and you've been talking about it every other fucking day. Don't be a bitch now because you lost. Is all I'm saying. Like, I think it's terrible.
Okay, hold on. Let's dissect this a little bit. First, you said about the whole Hillary coming out, conceding the next day. Like a month and a half ago, she came out, whatever show or whatever she was on, and she sat there and flat out said that Joe Biden, no matter what happens, do not concede this election. So, like, she came out and said it.
But she can't have an opinion. But
Well,
she did it. Like, she conceded. Like, she followed suit. She did the right thing.
I understand, but you can't, for people like that supported her, that are like, when she said that, and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You can't complain because he hasn't conceded. Because when you're a person that you're going for, and that Hillary comes out and says, no matter what, don't concede, fight this in the courts if you have to. And then when Trump's doing the same thing, now you're mad. You were all fine with it a month and a half ago when it was said. So that's where I'm just like,
sure, but
whatever.
Hillary's nobody in all of this. I don't disagree. Fine, I'll even give you that.
So
she's nothing in any of this.
And then, yes, the way he's acting, but I mean, it's Trump. So it's like, it's not like he's acting any different. But here's the thing. It's all part of his plan. Because he's going to come out when he concedes, if he concedes, because this is how I see him conceding.
And he's going to
come out, and he's going to come out, and he's like, I'll see you in 2024, bitch. And he's going to walk out. That's going to be like his conceding speech. That's why he's doing this. He has so many people following him right now. He has to make it look like he's not just rolling over.
But is that a leader to you?
Dragging this on.
Is that a leader to you? Because here's the deal. I know I'm confident he's going to run in 2024. And if the Democrats don't get their shit together and they put another guy like Biden out there, he's going to win. But
they're going to do even worse. They're going to put Kamala Harris.
Well, she might be the president by then because Biden might be like full.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. That's the whole point why they put her in there. And she ain't going to win. She couldn't get any support during the freaking Democratic debates.
No, Biden would have been the nominee. If the Democratic Party didn't fuck him, he would have been the nominee. Now, would he beat Trump? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But he would have been the nominee, should have been the nominee. Got a baby crying?
I couldn't tell. I thought so, but can't hear.
But he got dicked out of the nominee 2 elections in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I've made it very clear from the beginning. I did not think Biden was fit to be president.
Oh, I know. I agree. I'm just saying that's what I think is going to happen. Like, I don't think he's going to, if he makes it 4 years, like, he can't run for another because he can't hide the next 4 years. He can't hide in his basement the whole time.
I don't disagree.
He's got to come out and say stuff. And when he talks for a long period of time, when he talks for a short amount of time, he says something stupid or makes no sense. Or
he's a hard time forming sentences. Like,
yeah. So, like, if he stays president for 4 years by some gift of God, like, he can't, like, you can't put him up there. But if, like I said, I think when Pelosi was doing that whole Amendment 25 and everyone's like, oh, because Trump's got corona, it's like, no. I think she was setting the stage for Biden, give him a year, and then they're going to do that, and Kamala is going to take over. But like I said, if you run her, unless she does some god-awful, amazing job, which I doubt it because it doesn't happen that often, and like I said, she had no support from the Democrat people because she had to drop out. So she dropped out after like the second debate because she had no money coming in and no support. The only reason she got picked is because she's a black female. And Biden stuck himself in a corner by saying, I'm going to pick a female as my vice president.
Yeah, I thought that was a mistake. And it's not that. Here's the deal. I'm all for a female president. Like, I'm all for a female. I don't care what race, color, creed they are. Yeah, like, I think it's awesome, by the way, that I think it was the Marlins hired the Asian lady, Chinese lady as GM. Fucking go awesome. Like, I'm all for I'm a progressive human being. I think whoever's the best person should be in that job. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm all for it. But you're right. Like, I think he put himself in the corner when he said he was definitely going to put a woman on ticket, but it was going to get him votes.
Yes.
I think he failed when he couldn't go out and campaign. I told you, I thought that's why he was going to lose because every time he got on camera, I told you this as someone who did not want Trump to win, that I thought Trump was going to win for that reason, because I did not think Biden was mentally capable of winning the presidency. I don't think he's mentally capable of making it through this presidency.
Yeah.
But he's what we have. And the Democrats are dick because Trump will run in 24. He's too egotistical not to.
And here's the bad thing about that is if he runs, he's gonna have to win the Republican nomination, and it sucks because don't get me wrong, I'd probably vote for him again.
You think that's going to be a problem? Because I don't.
Yes, because if you're a Republican, he's going to be older for one. But if you got a good Republican, you think that can win, beat Kamala, Biden, whoever's running. If you think you got a good Republican that has a chance, because I mean, you got to think about it. Trump has got the Republican Party bigger now because of how he is.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you don't got to be as extreme as him, but I think as long as you do it the Republican way, then you're going to keep those votes. So if you sit there and you want that person and not Trump, if you don't get him the Republican nod, he's probably going to run independent, and then you're going to lose. The Democrats are going to win again because he's going to take those votes from the Republicans.
I think he can win
between him and the Republicans.
I think he can win as an independent. Here's the thing: I think Trump is the Republican Party right now.
Yes,
I think he's the voice. I think he's the attitude that they want, and they have bought into the Trump train. So I do not think it'll be hard for him to win the nomination at all in 2024. And like I said, it's going to come down to the Democrats have to get their shit together. Here's what the Democrats need to run on, right? Whether you're for these things or not, enough people around the country are. You got to run on making milk under $2 a gallon. You have to run on legalizing marijuana, which most states are already legalizing. So get on the board, decriminalizing it. So the dispensaries can like actually get bank accounts and stop putting them at risk and shit like that. That's what you have to run on. And instead of this like social, I know people, I don't so much have a problem with the word socialism, but I know it's a huge negative from everything that's coming out of the election. You have to change your whole game plan. If they keep doing what they did this election, they're going to lose. There's no way they win again. There's just no, I think enough people just hated Trump.
Yeah.
This time and they love Biden. And that's the thing is like, I think Biden got votes off of not who Biden is today, but like of who the reputation and love he got out of when he was vice president.
Yeah, and, they didn't do anything then either. That's the thing that gets me.
But he had a lot of goodwill. I don't think vice presidents usually do a lot anyways.
Well, I mean, he hasn't done much of anything except in his political career except put black people in jail.
Well, yeah. And that's one thing I'll give Trump. Like Trump put out the crime bill. Like he improved that. But I think overall, Trump could easily win in 2024 if the Democrats don't get their shit together. And if he has to run as an independent, watch out because he might be the first independent. And I don't know if he's the first.
Yeah, he would be.
I think he could do it, Kevin. I think he's got that much support.
He does, but I just don't know because so much of it is
Kevin, he's going to be out for the next 4 years campaigning. That's all he's going to do.
Oh, I know. I agree. 100% I agree with you. It's going to be hard because there's going to be those people that like him, but they're not going to not vote Republican. That's why I'm saying you're going to split the votes. Like that's why I think it would be a Democrat would win again, because you're still going to have people that hate him. Because here's the thing: the biggest thing that hurt Trump is the freaking news. All the news. Like if you turn on
what
the
helped
news,
him the last time. So maybe it's just balance now. Because I'll tell you, I will argue that that's what got him the election the first time. Is the news thought he was so fucking crazy that they're like, "Oh, Trump's somewhere. We just got to hear what kind of crazy shit he's saying." He got all kinds of free advertisement and airplay just because he's a fucking maniac. And the news were like, it's almost like the Howard Stern effect, right? You remember did you ever watch that movie?
Yeah.
And I remember that part of the movie. They're like, oh, people who love Howard watch for listen for 2 hours a day, right? And they're like, well, what about the people that hate Howard? Well, they listen to 2 hours a day because they wanted to see what he'd say next, right? Yeah. What about the people that hate Howard? Well, they listen for fucking 4 hours a day. Why? Yeah. Main reason given because they wanted to see what he said next. It's the same thing with Trump is Howard Stern. They just want to see what the fuck the guy's going to say. So, like, he has no, and I kind of love that about him on some level, that he just has no filter, and you're getting like pure, like whatever the fuck's on that brain of his.
Yeah.
No matter how sexist, possibly racist, just messed up it might be, he doesn't even think he's just. Blah.
But see, here's the thing: when you say like the media helped him, but still, even at that time, yes, they were showing. I mean, even and like, if you look at like the CNNs, all that, if you look at the left side media, they did the same exact stuff when they would show it. They would complain about how horrible he is, the mean things he was saying, this and that. So
Yes,
it's all the same stuff. I think the biggest thing for the media that did kind of give him that extra boost at the end was when the guy came out and said that they're reopening that case like 5 days before on Hillary. I think that part did hurt. And I mean, if you want to go media-wise that way, then yeah, I can agree with that. But overall, I don't think the media really helped him.
Well, I don't think they meant to help him.
But that's the thing, where so many of the people were so upset on the left that they blamed that for him getting elected, was because they were covering the whole reopening the case of Hillary. So like when the whole Hunter Biden thing came out, it was not on any news station that was a left station. They wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't whisper about it. They wouldn't bring it up in the debates. No, nothing like that, because they all knew what happened the last time, and they didn't want to start talking about this because it's going to make Biden look bad.
Sure.
Same with all of Facebook and all that stuff. They have proof, they have evidence, this and that, and it's like fact check, and they're blocking accounts that posted it, crap like that. So it's like they all know that that's what basically kind of helped him get over the edge possibly in the last election. So it's like they're not taking the bait this time. They're not going to do it because they don't want him there. And it's like, so it's like, the media, it's just like, and when you got 40 years of the media, everything he says is, you never heard of anything he did in office. If you watch a left side thing, all you heard about was Russia, racist. No, there's something else probably. But those were the only things you heard about for the whole, like the first 3.5 years. That's all you heard about was Russia, the racist, and then like Corona now. So you had that, but I'm just like, but that's all you heard about. You never heard of anything he did, and he did all kinds of crap in the office. But it's just like, never heard
all
about
kinds
it.
I think that might be over. I think he did some stuff.
He did quite a bit.
I guess maybe I didn't pay attention because.
And here's the funny thing.
And I tried to.
And the thing that cracks me up is like Biden's big thing was like he kept trying to make a big deal about Trump's $750 in taxes. If that's true, who knows? Let's just say it is true. And he keeps going on, like he kept saying how like.
I'm pretty sure that one's true. Pretty confident on that one.
I don't know, but let's just say it is. So Biden's like, first thing he's going to do is he's going to get rid of Trump's tax plan, blah, 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 this and that. And it's like, first off, those tax years that they released the $750 from were before he implemented his tax plan. So it's like those taxes were off of Biden and Obama's tax plan. So it's like Trump's tax plan did a lot. Yes, it helped big business, which every time any president does anything for saving money, it always helps big business. Every president. Doesn't matter what Democrats say. Democrats do the same exact thing.
It helps their bottom line, but it doesn't help the yous and me's of the world.
No. But Trump's tax plan, it helped yous and me's of the world. It gave us.
I disagree.
But it did.
Kevin, the long term, there's been so much evidence is like it helped you in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to cost you more.
I don't think so. Because some of the tax code
been out there. I'm gonna send you some documentation.
Me and Miranda have been getting more money taxes because of different tax breaks and stuff that they have put on for kids, childcare, and all kinds of stuff like that. So our taxes have gotten better. And here's the thing: like when Biden sits there and says, he keeps saying how his taxes aren't going to help the big business, blah blah blah, this and that. It's like you do know 20 out of the 25 top. Whatever that thing is for the highest paid, the most money businesses. I can't think of what it's called. Whatever the list is, the 20 out of 25. But 20 out of 25 of those guys, those businesses, were supporting Biden. So if he's going to hurt them so bad, like he says in taxes, like he's not going to take it easy and give them breaks, they're not going to be endorsing him. But they're all endorsing him. Why? Because every tax thing that he's been a part of has helped big business. Just like any other politician, because that's where their money comes from.
Oh, yeah. The money comes from. I don't disagree with. All right. Well, either way, I've been on here. I got to go paint. I'd love to keep this going. I'm trying to figure out. I've seen Ron posted something just now before I bounce. Because we've been on here almost 2 hours. Ron says, get off. Good Lord, get off Cheeto. Ron, I believe, is not a Trump supporter. Go team, not Trump supporters. Take that hat off, sweat a little bit.
I think you sound like your hat. That's pretty orange.
But he said, no, he said, get off. He said, and let's
see what
hear
he
about
said.
Mayfield. Better yet, Carr. Oh, I forgot he's a Raiders fan. Derek Carr is having a good year. The Raiders are the Raiders better? Let me ask you this: are the Raiders, before we go, love you too, Ron. Miss you, buddy. Are the Raiders better than you expected them to be with what's his face as their head coach when he came back? Because I thought they were going to be kind of shitty for a while because I thought he might have lost touch. But I think they're a pretty decent football team.
Yeah, I never really thought they'd be real bad or anything. I mean, he was always, in my opinion, I always thought he was an okay coach. Like, he knows the basics, and I wasn't really worried he was going to be behind or out of touch because all the stuff he did with calling Monday nights and like the quarterback stuff he did. Like, he's always been really good with quarterbacks. So it's like I never thought he was going to be really out of touch. Like, it just depended what the players were, and like especially when he came in and started getting Khalil Mack and a bunch of other Mari Cooper. He's like your top guys. He's getting rid of. It's
which
like,
I still think were good moves. I don't think you could have paid those guys.
But at the time, you're just like you're getting rid of your top two players. It's just like that makes no sense. But no, he knows what he's doing, and like I said, if you want a mediocre to subpar season, I mean, that's the coach to have. Because you think about it, the only reason he won a Super Bowl, well, he might have had one before Tampa, but the whole Tuck rule thing, because he had a really good team in Oakland, but when he took over a really good team in Oakland. And that's the same thing. When he went to Tampa Bay, he took over Tony Dungy's team, and Tony Dungy had that team set. So it's just like, his attitude might have changed it. I don't think he's a better coach than Tony Dungy, but it's like he came into a set-up team. So it's interesting now to see because his team was really not that set up when he came.
No, he's building it from the ground up. Like he went and got Josh Jacobs. Like that guy's a beast. I mean, he's not Nick Chubb, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And even Hunter Renfrow, I think Hunter Renfrow, even people shit on that draft pick.
I like it.
But a lot of people shit on it on draft day. They thought it's another Raiders thing. That guy's turned out to be a nice pick for him.
Yeah.
Do you think what did you say that I missed? Because I seen that little fucking shitting grin on your face. Like you said something shitty about the Browns.
I didn't say anything about the Browns.
I said Chubb's the.
No, I said I was like, did Chubb ever sleep in his car like Josh Jacobs did?
I don't care how you got there. I don't give a fuck. Like, great, you're hungry. You worked hard. Great. Chubb just does what he says. He ran the ball out the one instead of getting me more fantasy points. You think I was mad at him?
Did you see Chubb was on McAfee this week?
I'm
It was pretty good interview.
I think
one guy's a big Steelers fan, and he sat there. He's like, "So, which guy are you the most afraid of on that Steelers defense?" And it was so funny because McAfee's like, he's a big Steelers fan if you can't tell, and he laughed about it. He's like, "I'm not afraid of anybody." He's like, "They got a great defense over there, blah blah blah," and he said how he hopes he gets a chance to go against them, but he said that he knows being the last week that there's a possibility that they're going to be sitting out a lot of guys. And that's the thing that gets me because it's like I want to see how that defense would do against him and Hunt because it's a totally different thing.
When you have them both, it's a whole different game.
So it's like, do I think we would lose? No, but I think it'd be closer, and I think it'd be more interesting of a game.
Here's the thing. I think Cleveland has, and I get it, I'm a fucking homer, so just go ahead and say it, Ron. I know you're out there listening. But I think Cleveland has the best backfield in the league. I don't think that Chubb by himself is the best running back in the league. I think he's top 3. But I think the combination of him and Hunt, they have the best backfield in football. Our problem is not our offense. Our problem is, and I actually think OBJ being out helps us because I think Baker is actually throwing to the open guy and not trying to appease OBJ. But where I think we're fucked is our defense coordinator should be fired. It's terrible. Like, we can't stop a goddamn thing. I don't care if you're missing all your defensive backs or not. He should be fired. Period. And see, Ron agrees with me, like he should. But like, it's a bad time to be good. Like, why couldn't we start being good last year and get better? Like 6-3, not in the playoff hunt yet, is ridiculous. Who do the Steelers have this week? I know you told me already.
Jacksonville.
Jax. Ooh, that young quarterback down there is playing pretty good. He played pretty good last week.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, speaking of playing good, next year, dude, you got to get in this fantasy league I'm in. It's only 5 people right now, but it's on FanDuel's. And it's like, I think we pay like $100 or something. And it pays out. The weekly payout's like it pays out next to nothing weekly, but it's really fun. And this week I dominated. Fucking dominated this week. Which as you know, my fantasy luck is not usually pretty good.
Yeah, mine this year is definitely not that good.
Hey, Ron, who did the Las Vegas? It's hard to say Las Vegas. I'm still not used to that.
Chiefs.
And they dominated the Chiefs last time.
Yes, but they did some kind of celebration afterwards, so it might not be working. It might not go so well.
Oh, you don't do that. You don't do that against it. That would be like Cleveland rushing the field after we beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
It was just bad plan. You don't give them that kind of like reason to beat the shit out of you. Raiders, I didn't know that. Raiders might lose by 35 this week.
That's kind of like Cincinnati. Early in the week, their media department decided they were going to tweet out pictures of videos from TJ Houshmandzadeh taking a terrible towel from a fan in Pittsburgh the one year and like shining his shoes with it. Yeah, they thought that was funny. Look what happened after that.
Yeah, bad plan. Like, be smart. Be smart. When you play a team twice, maybe wait till the second time to be assholes. Yeah, because then you got the whole offseason for them to kind of mellow down. If you're like, oh, I'm going to play these guys in 4 or 5 more weeks, that should probably piss them off, especially when they're obviously a better team. Like, Jacksonville's probably going to be picking number 1, depending on how bad the Jets continue to be. Not Jacksonville, Cincinnati, which is good because hopefully they can get some help for Burrows because he needs it because that guy's a good young quarterback.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of good young help, how about that Browns offensive line?
What about it?
It's played fucking great this year. Baker's hardly getting sacked. We're running the ball like that. Wyatt Taylor's the highest ranked tackle in the league right now. Through like PFF or whoever does all the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Like that offensive line's on fire.
I don't know.
Is Cleveland going to the Super Bowl? Probably. It's probably going to happen.
Not, but whatever.
Does one last question before we go. I got a couple of minutes here. Does Baker get an extension at the end of the year? They've at least got to decide if they're going to do his 5th-year option.
I thought they already declined that.
No. Okay, but yeah, you're right. So they've got to make a decision at the end of the year. Are they going to extend him or just let him play it out? And
I don't know. I mean, you think if you can get the right deal, I mean, you got to extend him because you don't want to take a chance of banking on next year and then him blowing up and then ending up with a Dak situation would be my opinion.
What do you think is a good price for him? 25?
25 what?
Million per?
Per
I feel
year?
like that's the average for right now. I think that's like your new mid tier. That's 25. I think 30's your like upper tier. I think 25's your mid tier.
That's crazy. No.
Ron says they're crazy not to. I don't agree. I think 20 to 25.
25 mil a year. I mean, he's 25.
He's going to turn down 20 because he can get 20 anywhere. Anywhere that needs a quarterback, he picks his team.
I don't know.
I don't disagree. It's too much. I think everyone's getting as much as we pay for these players is way too much in a lot of situations. 25. I don't know. Something to chat about next.
25. Yeah.
All right, buddy. I got to go paint because I got family coming down for Turkey Day, and if I don't get Murphy Manor in order, my wife might punch me in the face. And I've got to work like the next 7 days straight. So, Ron, nice hearing from you, buddy. Keep watching. Glad to hear from you, Kevin. Tell Winnie not to be mean to me when she sends me voice messages. And tell Miranda I've got lining up a job for her when I win the lottery.
All right, I'll let her know.
Where in Utah you want to live. We'll even pay. Pierce Inc. Millionaires is going to pay for your move. We'll take care of it. Just find a nice place. You're going to be a house husband. I'm going to be a house husband to one Coke. It's going to be a good time.
All right.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. Bye, everybody. Ron, take it easy. Bye.
Bye.